Hi everyone, I hope you're well, and I just want to bring you an encouragement this morning. It's been hard, hasn't it, for everybody, suddenly being wrenched apart, being separated from people that we see regularly, whether they're members of your family or friends or people at work. It's been difficult. It's difficult because we have to keep a distance. When we go to the supermarket, we are supposed to keep a 2-meter gap between us and other people around us. And that feels strange for us because we are social creatures. God made us and designed us to enjoy fellowship with one another, to have proximity. That's suddenly been denied us, and I think that's difficult for everybody. I've been thinking recently about the gaps that exist, not only between each other right now, but also in creation. I've been watching videos on YouTube recently about outer space and about facts and figures to do with space, which I find really fascinating. And one of those aspects of space which is kind of really hard to get your head around is the vast distances between things. Just the distance between us and the moon is colossal. The astronomer Fred Hoyle said that if you got in a car and drove straight up, it would take you an hour at 60 miles an hour to get into space. If you kept driving, it would take you 6 months to get to the moon. And that's just us and the moon. So God created a universe with vast distances and gaps between things. You know, when Paul wrote to the Ephesian church, he said that Jesus fills everything, everywhere with his presence. He said that when Jesus was raised from the dead, he ascended so that he could fill the entire universe. Now, I've been thinking about that recently, thinking about the fact that that Jesus fills the gaps. Where there is a gap between you and me, where there's a gap between you and others, Jesus fills that gap. By the presence of the Holy Spirit, he is everywhere. The Spirit lives in you and in me, and he lives in between us. In fact, he joins us together. And that's what I want to encourage you with today. If you're feeling maybe isolated and separated and maybe struggling with the gap, he is the God of the gap. He's the one that joins us even when we are apart. You know, the Apostle James told us that if we draw close to God, then he will draw close to us. And I want to encourage you to stay close to God. And when you do, when you pray and when you seek him, just ask him to help you feel connected with the rest of us, because he is the God who fills the gap, and he's the Spirit that is sharing life with you and with me, and he's joining us together right now, even in this time of separation.
Thanks for joining us today. Search for us online and get information about upcoming events and more great teaching.